here, and this is my entry for the Myer Fashions on Your Front Lawn Emerging Designer Award. From visiting Flemington Racecourse so many times and always seeing the beautiful roses on display, I wanted to bring part of the course into my Fashions on Your Front Lawn design. I began incorporating the petals of the rose into the bodice of the dress with bias draping. So this was all done by hand, one petal at a time. It changed a lot throughout the few days that it took me to do it. I started with an image of a rose and sketching different design concepts. I love classic racewear and I'm a big fan of the 1950s full skirts and just the elegance of the cinched waistline, the sweetheart necklines, and those big full skirts. I wanted to use a natural fibre fabric for my design. As part of my label, I use all natural fibre fabrics for a more sustainable option that can be biodegradable in the future. So I found a silk fabric in the most vibrant red for this dress. I completely fell in love with the fabric and bought it right away. Once I had found the perfect fabric and had finally finished the design, I started by drafting the flap pattern. This was for the shell of the bodice, the yoke, and for the skirt. I made a toile of the bodice and skirt to see if I was happy with the proportions and to check the fit on my model. After a few changes, I decided I was ready to cut the real fabric. I started by making the base for the bodice. I've used Shapewell and stitched boning into the seams of the bodice so that it had a really strong structure to begin the draping. I then sewed the yoke onto the bodice along the top edge and sewed the self-bind around the armholes and neckline. Draping the bodice was my favourite part of this creation. It took me 2 full days to get it right. It's a combination of machine and hand stitching, lots of pinning. Once I was happy with the draping of the bodice, I attached the skirt, did the pleats on the side skirt for a bit of extra detail, and then made a tulle petticoat to go under the skirt to give it that volume. I then stitched the zipper at the centre back, hemmed the skirt lining and the main skirt, pressed the whole dress a lot, and then it was finished. I designed the hat to be in the shape of a leaf, to be the leaf of the rose. I drew the shape on the computer on Illustrator and got it laser cut in clear acrylic plastic and used heat to bend the leaf into a nice shape. I then painted it with the violet paint, which I think really complements the bright red colour of the dress. The earrings I made from polymer clay. I made many different shapes of earrings and tested them all to see which would work best with the dress. I'm really happy with the way the dress has turned out, and thank you so much for having me as part of this competition. I'm really looking forward to being back at the track next year.
Yep.